Welcome to another edition of Inspired Discussions, where we challenge the way you think, shattering status quos while increasing your self-worth. They call me Sibley. Serving people is who I am, it's what I do. I'm with my co-host Remy.
Realizing energy made me. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my guy. We're gonna have a great episode this week because as last week, I had a outstanding week, like another week of just pure clarity and
Yeah.
greatness as always. How was yours?
I mean, for the most part, it was good. Well, all of it was good. It was just different portions of my week that probably stood out the most to me, which is actually going to lead into what I really wanted to discuss. Because I was talking with a friend of mine, and they was focusing on like a lot of the conversation started off as like a religion conversation, and then through the religion conversation,
Oh, buddy.
but belief and whatnot, we went through the religion conversation, and just where I'm at when it comes to religion and just looking at life differently, it was pointing out a lot of negative moments in life in general, like even with what's just on the news or whatever, like people getting shot, or you hear about the worst of the worst, and you be like, why did that even need to happen? That don't make any sense. Like I'm pretty sure most people can agree that like a child dying at a really young age, or a female getting raped, stuff like that is just, for the most part, people be like, why did that even need to happen? Like that's something that shouldn't even happen, period, in life. But at the same time, just like I said, where I'm at with looking at things, even with situations like that, I would still say everything happened for a reason. Now, that's not to say that I condone it. That's not to say, like, yes, that needed to happen. I believe that should happen. No, I
Ooh,
agree.
buddy.
I agree with I agree with most people when the people who do that, need to be in jail forever, or need some type of karma to come back around and hit them just as hard as, whatever it was they delivered. But at the same time, I still believe everything happened for a reason. So even with that, whatever example you want to use, just think of the worst of the worst or whatever. Even with that example, we don't know who that may affect directly. We know who it's going to affect negatively. The family that's involved with whoever that person may be, that's their cousin, their auntie, uncle, whatever. That is no longer there. So now they got to live with this moment forever in their mind. But at the same time, because they got to live with that moment, one of them, or it may be multiple, are going to feed off of that energy and put that energy into something else that's even greater, that probably never would have happened. Like one of the examples we used within the discussion with my friend was Nipsey Hussle. Now, right off rip, I never really listened to Nipsey Hussle. I heard about the situation and whatnot, and they brought up the fact that his son, which I don't know if this is true or not. You can let me know if you really know. His son now has to live with the fact that his dad died or whatever, and he shouldn't have to. And we don't know if he has family that he's going to have to be with or be in a system or whatever it may be. But either way, his dad isn't there. That's something he's going to have to grow up with forever in the back of his mind, and he shouldn't have to. But on my end, I was saying, yes, that is true. And at the same time, because he have to live with that thought in the back of his mind growing up, that same thought is actually a seed. And you don't know if that seed is going to grow up and become the best person to look over people without
Facts.
parents or whatnot.
Facts.
He'll be the best of the best just because he grew up and his dad got shot. Now, if that would have never happened, that seed might not grow into that area because it didn't happen. But because it did happen, he put that energy, that seed, so to speak, and let it grow in a way that he can build off of forever and be the best of the best. So that's what I mean when everything happened for a reason. I'm not agreeing with the negativity, but I'm saying the negativity can spark even greater, moments, qualities of life or whatever that you would never really expect unless it just happens.
The silver lining in moments. And since you touch more on the negative, I'm gonna go on the positive, because it's amazing that this is how your week, was, and you had that conversation, because just my experience this week was something similar, but on the positive side of it. Okay. So, like, to keep it short, I had an opportunity for a 6-figure play. 6 figures, change the whole game and landscape. It ended up falling through, and just not working out because the couple variables that was out of my control.
Right.
And I instantly thought when it happened, because I've been studying heavy. I think I'd have mentioned it to you before. I think I didn't even send you the audio book, The Science of Getting Rich.
I think you have, yeah. It's in our log.
I've been studying that like crazy. I've been listening to it for like the last 3 weeks, just consistently. And one of the things that it highlights in there is when it gave a situation of a guy that basically my same type of situation, where he had a deal that fell through, but he continued to have faith and believe that everything is going to work out for the greater good, and something down the road end up coming that he couldn't even yield it with the first deal that was even better. So when I had my experience with that, like, I instantly got excited, because I was like, oh, this just went through, and this is a mid 6-figure deal. Oh, so It's something greater in store than this. Oh yeah, let's create. That Birdman hand rub. Let's create. Let's create. So just to get back to touch on what you were saying, I just believe, even though it's harder in those negative situations,
right,
you have to believe that everything is going to work out for your greater good. Like, regardless what it is, because like you were saying, like, that seed that he gonna have to deal with can end up sprouted into something else that's unimaginable. That's why I believe you have to just continue to have faith and believe, like, this gonna work out for the best. This gonna work out for the best.
So with your situation or the example you provided, I'm thinking, I could be wrong. So with that, you said it did fall through, and with that, it sparks you to be like, all right, something else greater is going to happen on the flip side of that because of that said action.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Did that mindset, or I don't know if it's mindset or the thought, because I'm trying to get to what made you think that, all right, that's something greater that's going to happen after you accepted the fact that it was a negative, or you didn't even look at it as a negative, and it was a positive.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It was instantly like, something about to work out for my greater good that's better in the store. And I believe a lot of it is my personal development. It's the time I spend putting positive things, surrounding myself with positive things. And as I said, I was about to say, like, I'm staying conscious.
Right. Hey, I'm keeping count. I'm keeping count.
Oh man.
But
All
go
right,
ahead.
we gotta let them know what we talking about since we done brought it up. So y'all know like I edit all the videos or whatnot, and even though last week was my best episode, I say as far as like the content and what's poured out of me,
Yeah,
I
yeah, I agree.
I said
Yeah.
like way too many times for my liking.
Hey, that's one way to
So
switch it up. So I can accept that.
so I'm being conscious of how many likes I use, and I guess my brother, my partner over there, is keeping count. So he holding me
Yeah,
accountable of changing that. So
yeah. I
so
got you. I
yeah.
got you covered.
Yeah, so just to let y'all know, so y'all don't think we hold back from y'all. But
Right.
but as I was saying,
All
I
right.
have been I have been listening to Science of Getting Rich 2 times a day. And
Okay.
Science of Getting Rich is 2 hours. So it was in my consciousness, so I just instantly took me there. That's why I always stress like that routine and what you surrounding yourself with, what you listening to is key, because in
I agree.
moments like that, like if I was on a negative tip, it's more than likely I would have went negative. Like, man, why this fall through? Over
Right.
obsessing over it, trying to figure out, like how I'm gonna fix this.
Right.
So I strongly believe, since I had all that positive and I was pushing all of that around me, and that's all I do is surround myself by.
Yeah.
That helped me in that situation to go straight to there and be like, something else about to work out for my greater good. And like, that's really not the only situation I done had like that. It's just the most recent, and it's just so timely now, because just everything I've been working on the last 7
Right.
years.
Now, within that, I got two things. One, the statement that you were saying, because it was already in your consciousness, you was surrounding yourself with positive things, and that's a natural reaction, that it was positive before you even thought that it was negative, and then evaluated accordingly. I agree with that statement, because on my end, when I'm just around or doing something, I'm always trying to keep my environment to the point to where when I get like that spark or that creative moment, that flow where I start thinking about things on a different level or at a different scale, I'm normally like the playlist or the music we were listening to before we started. I normally got that type of music playing in the background damn near all day. Or like we spoke about on another episode, Alan Watts, I got philosophy playing in the background. So when that moment hit me, I'm already feeding into what I have as my natural regimen to keep me going or writing down or developing something.
We haven't did that episode yet. That's what we
Oh,
have supposed to. We haven't did the routine yet.
oh,
Well,
oh, well then
we gon' we gonna bring to
they
y'all
got
like a
something
whole
coming then.
episode on routine.
Right. Okay, y'all got something coming then. All
Yeah.
right. Well,
That's a whole episode on routine. That's some stuff that we had off wax that when we was getting our
that
chemistry
was
together.
archives.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
the
archive time.
archive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
archive.
Okay.
I think that might be the most rawest one too, because I think we touched on religion a little bit on that one too. No, we didn't. We do
No,
got
we
one
didn't
on
record
religion.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but not to cut you off and get off
All right,
topic,
Chef.
but keep
Yo,
going. I just had to let
that
you know
religion
that.
gonna be something different. But anywho, I keep myself in that environment or that mode to keep myself flowing regularly when I think of something like that. And at the second thing that I wanted to say was I was really just thinking about how you saying that that's a natural positive thought or process, While on my end, I have to see. Well, I don't have to. I mean, I've had those moments as well where I instantly be like, "Oh, that's a positive and not a negative." But I don't know. I actually look forward to those moments when it be like, "Okay, that's a negative," and I like purposely seek out where's the positive in that negative. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody else, whether it's mom, dad, friend, or whatever, and we're having a conversation and they bring up something negative, I'm automatically drawn to the negative part, so I can purposely seek out the positive in that just because I want them to think a little different. So that's something how yours is a natural, that's positive right off rip, while on my end, I'm acknowledging it's negative while seeking out a positive through the negative. So that's just two different ways of thinking.
It is, but I don't mean to like.
I already saw it. I saw you. I saw the way you position yourself, and I'm like, oh, he took a deep breath too. Oh, he ready to say something. Okay, go
No,
ahead. What you got?
because I have that ability to do that too. Well, it was just for that situation. That was the first thing that was just that was the thought that flowed in that situation, because if I'm on property and I'm dealing with these, what do I want to call them? We on wax, so let me do a political correct term that let's call them colonizers. Well, we're gonna call them colonizers because
Hey, that's a lot better than what I was thinking. Because I was sure about to spit out some words and be like, choose one.
I was about to say the other C word, but that's I don't
No,
want
no,
to go
no,
that
no,
far.
no, 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 no.
I was gonna say the other C word, but when I'm dealing with these colonizers and the way they move, like those situations are negative. And like I don't like I can admit those situations are harder, to find a positive in, because
Yes,
I can get pulled into that and be like, oh, that's how you want to go. And it flip that switch, because like it's like we was talking before. It was like I got a certain type of switch to me that like you just suspect sometimes, where it's like, oh, he about to pop off with something smart, or
right.
and what I had learned, and as I matured over the years, in those type of situations when dealing with them, and I'm
Yes.
saying them as in that proper noun, them.
Dear boy. Lord Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh,
Lord Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I'm
I can
saying,
already see by like the 20th episode, this is gonna be some raw content, and we is not gonna care.
raw,
Lord Jesus
because
Christ.
I'm most definitely coming out of shell in this one.
Oh boy, oh boy. Hey, alrighty.
But yeah, hey, like them. And so I have to, change that tone and like not feed into it, and look at like, okay, what's the positive in this? Like they showing me what I already know. So I gotta react to it like this. Like I can't feed into it, because if I truly know who I am and I'm one in myself, like how they acting can't control me. Like I can't control what he just, projected onto me, but what I can control, if I accept that to my spirit. So like I draw those. I have those type of situations too. It was just, the example that I gave. It just
Right.
triggered something else, But it's
Now,
not always automatic. It's like really what I'm saying. It's not always automatic, because I mean, like, who knows? Like, had I not been, listening, maybe that's why I was listening to the Science of Getting Rich for the last 3 weeks, because for that opportunity, because it was already in the works. And had I not been listening to Science of Getting Rich, maybe I would have went into the negative and got depressed about it, or not depressed. Depressed is
right.
not discouraged
Yes.
about it, and really didn't like use it as a stepping stone to something greater, and it would have
Okay.
caused that resistance. Everything,
Okay.
it just
Now,
tie into like what we talking about. Everything every series of events, like every, order that it happens in, is happening in that order for a reason. That's why that's why I just stress so much to keep a clear mind, and because you have to be able to, you know,
Lord
use
Jesus
those
Christ. Oh my
situations to guide you. We about to
God.
get
Okay.
good. You got about 3, 4, 5, 6 thoughts in your head right now.
I really do, and I'm like, Lord Jesus, I gotta. Okay, whatever, bro. All right. So I think that this is where we gonna kind of split a little bit. Uh, so I'm quoting you just now, with you saying that you believe that everything happens for a reason unless it's them and the actions they have to certain things. Your quote. And then with you saying that made me think, well, you can't believe everything happened for a reason. Because even with that, no, okay, now that's not me saying that you don't believe that. I'm just saying with that scenario or that moment, even with me, and I'm thinking of different things that's going on, racial or whatnot. Even within those, I'm still believing that everything happened for a reason. And this may be something, this is something that we've always dealt with for years on end. And for me to make that statement, to agree with everything happened for a reason, even within those scenarios, then that means I'm also agreeing with the fact that these scenarios and moments and racial issues that's been going on for years, then that also means I'm agreeing that all of those moments and issues and situations that's been going on for years, I believe happened for a reason as well. And I was breaking that down. I'm like, well, yeah, I still agree with that too. But at the same time, that's why I'm going to keep stressing the fact, even though I'm saying, yeah, everything happened for a reason, even within those scenarios and moments, that don't mean that I agree with the said actions and they are supposed to happen. Like, yeah, this is good. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that those actions happen because those actions trigger other moments, create different energy, create different seeds, and those said seeds keep doing the same thing, energy seed, blah blah blah, all the way to this point. And I'm like, well, yeah, if I'm thinking of that all the way then, like all the way in the back years ago to now, then yeah, I can see positive within it. And I agree it's going to continue to happen because I'm pretty sure some people are saying, well, this is something that's going to always happen and we'll forever deal with. Yeah, I can agree with that, but I'm also agreeing with the fact of the energy that is presented and the seeds that grow from it as well. So that's why when you said that, even with them and whatnot, I'm like, I don't know. I still agree with those actions. While on your end, I took it as you don't agree that those things should happen and there's no reason for it. Because I'm like, if
No,
you agree
no,
everything
no,
happened
you
for a
you
reason, then
misunderstood me. No, you misunderstood
everything.
me on that one. That's what I was trying to, because I'm like, I wasn't following you. I'm like, no, I know those things do happen for a reason. When I'm saying they now, like they, when
I
they
gotta.
act like that and
Yep.
project that on me, I know it's
Yeah.
happening to see how I'm gonna react to it, because I know I was talking to some, I think it was Cherish. I was just talking to Cherish about this. 25-year-old Andre, oh, I react totally different than 32-year-old Andre. It's night and day. Like, I'm going in, like I'm combating it with, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm the same negative energy you giving to me, I'm matching it. You know what I'm saying? But now it's more so like, okay, I smile and smirk because I'm like, okay, I smile at it and I'm like, I'm gonna keep letting you think you winning. You know what I'm saying? But you over here playing checkers while I'm moving my chess pieces. So like,
Right. Right.
let's play. And it was
Okay.
something
So
else
there.
that you said that I wanted to touch on.
You gotta jump
But
in when I'm on a rant like that. You just
it
gotta jump
it
in and cut me
it
off, bro.
it, it went off out of my chain of thought. But go ahead and say what you say. It's gonna come back to
Okay,
me.
so all right. Maybe I should ask this first before presenting my thought. So with you believing everything happened for a reason, that is literally everything happening for a reason. Everything. Even if you can see a negative that's going to deliver a negative reaction, you still can see that it's happening for a reason. You agree with that statement all the way through.
I do. I do.
Oh, well, hey, then, all right.
I
I
do.
was expecting a no, and I was expecting you to give me an example of why you saying
No,
no.
I
Okay.
do because like I said, it's harder to adapt that mindset. Like with my pops, it was harder for me to adapt that mindset, but it
Yeah.
did. And then later on down the line, we in COVID, this with this pandemic, I'm like, man, I could only imagine how it would have been if my pops was still here worrying every day,
Man.
if he's straight, you know what I mean? So it's like
Right.
I had to believe like it's gonna work out for the greater good. And like how I feel about stop counting how many times I'm saying like, man.
I ain't gonna say nothing until the end. I ain't gonna say nothing to the end. Shoot, at this point, the audience is counting. I don't gotta count no more.
It's not as much as last episode. I know it's not because I'm conscious of it. I just seen
thank
you
God
when
everything
I
has been
said it. I
recorded.
just seen you move your hand, and I'm like,
hey man, you do you. I'ma do me.
oh man. But man, what was I talking about, man?
She was talking about even with if your dad was here, COVID
Oh
and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, with that situation, like I had to I had to adapt to, believing that it's gonna work out for my greater good, and it has. And that's what I was gonna say. And my belief in, the I guess what you want to call it, the supernatural, I guess, and just spirit, like it's a part of my dad that still live within me, because I feel like that love, that parent love, it never goes away. Just love, period. Like once you deeply love somebody, it never goes away. And that parent love is one of the most, deep loves ever. So like part of him still, lives within me. So you just even I believe this in the archive too, when I was talking about the bee stings. Like two different bee stings and two different outcomes.
I remember that.
Happened for a reason, even though in that moment it was hard to adapt that that I guess mindset. It all happened for a reason. So I mean,
we gotta go back in there and recreate those archive videos, or just keep them as archive and do something with them later.
Nah, cause they are too choppy, and I don't like that. They archives for a reason. Now we most definitely gonna talk about the beef things and those parallels, because that was a real turning point in my journey.
Man, I think we can have that religion conversation, bro, because I already know what I'm gonna bring to it, and I don't think we will. Well, I don't know on your end. I don't think I'll be harping on any said specific thing. It'll be mostly how I look at things for my life within religion, but it is still. I don't know where you gonna go with it. See, that's the part I'm unsure about. It's just a question mark right there. I don't know where you gonna go with it.
I haven't
got an idea because I know the conversation we had.
I'm almost ready for it because I had a conversation with my mama yesterday. It wasn't even on religion, but I was just speaking to her about certain things. And yeah, it's gonna be a good conversation because I have grown more with the religion topic. Even since I posted what I posted in the Telegram and like how that irritated me, I've grown since that, and from
Okay,
that. So yeah, it
bro.
might not be as controversial as you think. I'm gonna say some stuff that you know, maybe raise some eyebrows in our circle.
I can
I
believe
most
that.
definitely would do that, but that's not gonna be hard because you can say anything off as oh, let me stop because I don't want to give away the episode now. I don't want to give away. We may have to. We may have. Religion episode coming
Nigga,
soon. I'm
boy,
gonna say that.
tell you.
That's promo. We promoting the religion episode right now. We're gonna give y'all the religion episode within the next month. Maybe we
I'm sitting here like, is he really gonna go through it? Oh, he going there. He going there. Oh Lord. Oh
no
Lord.
that was the promo. I just cut a WWE type promo, all authentic on top of the
No.
dome. That's so I picked up when we actually do the episode, and that's gonna
No.
be you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the promo, like.
Bro, in the middle, I'm like, well, there go our topic. I guess the topic just changed. We get this nigga about to start lighting in. It's a wrap. It's a dub. All right. But we're leaving that. We're leaving that. Going back to the everything happened for a reason. This is the only thing. Like I said, I probably said this in other episodes. I believe I have, or at least I feel like I have. Everything happened for a reason. It's like number one statement or motto for myself. Period in life. The only thing that I cannot seem to fit or make a parallel within that statement is when I think of the situations or people in within their life that I'm pretty sure we've heard people be like, every time I try, this is a negative or this doesn't work. I've been trying, I've been doing this, like all the stuff you would normally say or have within a conversation to somebody else that you may know or at least comfortable to have a lengthy conversation with. And you're giving that advice, and it's always the response is always, I tried doing that. Like, get a job. I tried, man. They won't hire me. Or try and do this. I tried. It didn't work out. It's always, this doesn't work out, period, as a response, no matter what the situation is. And I'm like, I can think of people that are like that. And I'm like, how can I get that to fit within everything happened for a reason? Because in their head, if that's the response that I'm getting regularly and they really feel that way, then in their head, they're like, why the heck did this happen to me? And they're always like, this sucks, whatever the situation may be, and whatever you're trying to provide to them. So I'm like, how can I get that thought of everything happened for a reason to those individuals at the same time? And like, I've had this thought for a long time, and I can never fit that directly into that somewhere. So I'm just gonna ask you how.
It's a them thing, man. Because when I just kept cringing when you kept saying, I've been trying, I'm trying, it's not working, because it's just all
Right.
negative. You know what I'm saying? It's all negative.
That's the
Like
same
you tell
emotion
me,
I have when I hear it.
yeah, like it's all negative. It's a them thing, and it just goes to it's really goes into last episode when I was talking about they had these, or just when we just talking about the hurdles, they got these certain hurdles, and they allowing it to break their will. Their will is broken because that sounds like a defeated person to me. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
that sounds like a defeated person to me. And like the best thing you can do for people like that, man, it's real hard because it just kind of depends on who it is, because there's certain people that you get an exception for. Like
Right, right,
if it's somebody that's immediate, like you gonna want to pull them up, be my brother's keeper, be my sister's keeper.
right,
So
right.
know, it's really just depending on your relationship with that person, because it's touchy, because like I really have shied away the past couple years of constantly telling people the same shit over and over and over and over again.
Right now, I'm
Like,
with you on that. 3 times and that's
like
it, bro. I can't do it.
how many times you want me to tell you? Like, just what you need to do. How many times you want to hear it? I done said it 3 different ways, 3 different
Facts,
times.
facts.
So what more do you want me to do? And with people like that, I just be like, it's gonna click when it's click. But,
Okay, so,
but
so
as I was saying, if it's somebody closer, you just constantly, you gonna always exalt that energy, because just the values you have set for yourself.
okay, so I guess that kind of answers what I was thinking. Because I was saying or I was thinking that the closer the relation or the connection that you have with that said individual that is that way, half the time it'll be you actually insisting on making a statement or doing something that is thought provoking intentionally for them, and then the rest of it is just the way you actually move. Because their relation is so close, they'll naturally feed off of it, or at least hopefully feed off of it. Now, if it's somebody that is not that close and you don't have that close relation or whatnot, does that also mean that it's easier to give up on that person? Or is it even giving up on that person, or is it just letting that person run into a wall, a dead end, and then still also, but like this is all up under everything happened for a reason, by the way. So I may be dragging this out, but all of that. So letting them bump their head or whatnot, and hopefully they realize it. Still, like something like that, I can't really do. Like if I put in my energy to assist somebody, now close, I get what you're saying. Close, all right, cool. I'm gonna repeat myself maybe 2-3 times. After that, it's just gonna be little hints there, and hopefully you
Right,
just feed off of my aura or the way I move. Somebody
right,
else that I
right,
really
right.
don't know and probably had this conversation with maybe once, maybe twice, and then it's just all right. I don't really know you anyway, but I gave you the best conversation, the best advice I can give in that moment. Hope it works out for you. And they run into a dead end. It's still like, oh well, everything happened for a reason. Like I'm that like that's what I'm trying to get into. That's the reaction that I have within myself when I'm seeing those scenarios. I'm like, well, everything happened for a reason. Hopefully you got it now.
You so funny.
I mean, because it's true, man. People come up and have conversations about different things, and I'm a listening ear. I don't know you at all, and then I say my piece, and then I hear about the situation later, either from them or from somebody else. Like I said, I don't know you, and then I hear you did the totally opposite of what I was suggesting, not even remotely close to the advice I was trying to give you, and you ran into a dead end. Like, how, bro? Like, how? I'll just chalk it up to, well, everything happened for a reason. I don't know what the heck that's supposed to be.
But I get what you're saying, man. I guess this just the maturity of me and my growth and just understanding people. But in that moment right there lies a teaching moment. And now I maybe I'm more acceptable like to speak now because they have hit that wall. So now they didn't experience something different. So now you're not articulating the same thing per se. Like you gonna say the same thing, but now it may hit a little bit different because they experienced it. Because now you can use that experience that they just had to be like, look, this is what I was trying to tell you because you did this,
Oh, okay,
that.
okay.
You know what I mean?
All
You
right. I
did
got
this,
you now.
that, and that. You know, so this what you need to tweak. This why you hit this wall. That's what I was trying to tell you. And it's not even a like
Right,
a I told you so type of thing. It's like, look, this what I was trying to help you avoid you from doing. This is how we fix it. You know, it's that
right.
simple. And then at that
Okay,
point,
that
you
makes
know,
sense.
you just go from there.
See, now that makes perfect sense. Now it's somehow I've actually had that thought, like I said, plenty of times, and at the same time, I also know the statement that references the said example that you just provided. Because I had this conversation with Shaquan, and it was the fact of there were certain things that I tried. Well, I told them about, told Shaquan about, and be part of like different things or making different actions, and then that was years ago, and then it's like now this year it's like, oh, now you get what I was saying when I mentioned that years ago. So certain things people aren't really I don't want to say mentally strong, but the growth needed to accept that said advice hasn't happened yet.
Facts.
So
Facts.
in the past, whenever that was presented to them, they wouldn't mature enough mentally or whatever it may be, spiritually, emotionally, whatever category. They wasn't mature enough to accept that said advice, and they read into dead end. But because of that dead end, it helped them to gain a different understanding of your said advice that you was trying to present. So in the end, that still means that everything happened for a reason. See, I knew that, but I wasn't putting two and two together. And it's just
Yeah.
somehow like certain things but you don't tie those same correlations to different examples, even though they're all up under the same category.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
it's just like the situation with Micah. Because I told you, I had those conversations with Micah about, look, this what you need to start doing. This the mindset you need to start having. And it took what 4 years? You know,
Right.
it took it took 4 years. So people just
That's
it clicked
crazy.
for people different, man. It clicked for people different, and that's why I was saying last week why it felt so good because I knew the time I had put into getting him all this information and never giving up on it. We might have not had the conversations that we had the past couple years, the previous two before that. But at the
Right.
same time, I never gave up. When he reached out to call, it lit me up. Like, okay, you ready now? Like so. Let's just go from there and let's work now.
Dang. See, now I'm thinking with the thought that I'm having now, I'm like low key uh excited for the next, I don't know, the next level of growth or connection that I'll have within myself, because with all of that, what I got for myself was there are so many different things that let's just say a 5 year time span 5 years ago that I either didn't know or I gained the knowledge of, but didn't make the growth necessary or have the action to make the growth compared to now. And I can probably list several different things in my head that I know that are motivational, that are inspirational, different thoughts that just make a better me to deliver a good aura or energy to the environment that's around me. But within the list of those things, there are still certain things that I would never make a connection to, even though they're still there. So it's like for us for us to have this conversation, and I just now realized that, oh yeah, because this and this can connect, which makes, this said moment meaningful. I'm like, yo, there are so many other things that we already know or grown into and made a part of our life, but we don't even. I'm gonna say me. I don't even try to make the connections within those said things. It's always trying to create something else to add to the list of what makes a better me. While at the same time, the things that make a better me can also be connected. And I've never even thought about that until just now. I'm like, yo, I can only imagine what I can create or grow from that to make a better me. But I don't know, how do you look in situations like that? The things that already make you you, do you connect those as well, or are you always just adding something else new to the list that makes a better you?
Oh no, it's always you always I it's a combination of both with me. I'm always looking ways to get better in those things that I'm good or great at. I'm always staying conscious of them because it's like it's like why have all these tools in your tool belt and you're not gonna use them? They came to you for a reason. They your particular skill sets and gifts for a reason. They your experiences, So why aren't you using them? It's similar to like when that person hit that wall and then you give them that new set of wisdom and they don't use those new tools. That's why they have that resistance there. And like I always do, as I always do, I compare stuff to finance and the market because that's what I contain that's what I obsessed myself with
Right.
over 2 years. We have fundamentals and a strategy to win in the market. If we don't use those tools and those fundamentals, we will not win in the market and minimize our losses. And that's a fact because we're not using the tools. So it's just like
Right.
it's cause and effect. Like you do this, this is gonna happen. You cause your effect. So that's what I say with that. It's all it's being relentless. Go back to the Jordan situation. Always getting better. Like, look, I'm gonna perform here now. It's what I told you last week. After we got done. I'm here now. And I
Right.
feel
Right.
it because we didn't put another great episode on wax. Like, so I'm here now, and you came up there today. You up there today.
Okay.
You
All
like
right. See. All right. See. I was with you. I was with you, and then you did that. All right. All right. Uh-huh. I'm listening. Sure.
no. But that's that mentality though. Like you asking, like, what do I do? I constantly get better. Like I constantly get better because I can't be worried about if I want you to step up your game every week, but I can't be worried about that because I really can't control if you're gonna step up every week in and week out. So I need to
Facts.
come up here and perform here, and it's gonna push you to make sure you here too. So yeah, you
Facts.
gotta continue to build on like week in and week out. Like that's the answer to your question because I built from last week's podcast, not forgetting everything from then and using it now here. I gotta get better. The whole wanting to minimize the it's all about getting better. It's all
Right.
about getting.
Bro, could you imagine if everybody knew, like, if there was a way where everybody knew, like, the specific things that made them them? These are all positive things, and these are all the things that make you grow. If everybody knew the exact things that make you you, and they build off of that, oh my God, bro! Could you imagine the world that we would, the world that we would be in right now? That would be so freaking dope. And I'm mostly excited to the fact of I'm about to start connecting those things because I never thought about that till now. So I'm like, bro, I know the list of things that make me me, and I'm about to start connecting them boys and doing crosses on them. And oh boy, this is about to be nasty. This is about to be nasty, boy. Oh snap! Everything happened for a reason, bro. Everything happened for a reason. That's crazy.
I'm with you because just my whole, like the situation I was saying with that falling through, I'm like, oh yeah, let's create. Like
Yo,
I'm so prepared to when that opportunity, whatever it is, when it comes to take full,
full
full,
action.
advantage of it, full
Yeah,
advantage,
yeah,
full
yeah.
advantage. Just think about everything that happened for a reason
What?
and causing an effect. I'm about to give like a 5 minute last example, like not even 5 minutes, fresh. I told
Okay.
you before this podcast, I sent the podcast recording message. Now let's see if this gonna get erupted. And when I had a little visitor come down here, I got erupted. Like how I responded in that situation is everything. Something that I tried to avoid. I tried to avoid, but
Right, right.
it happened and I had to deal with it. 3 episodes? It was a totally different story.
Oh yeah,
A totally
definitely.
different story.
Totally opposite. Off the
Right.
charts. Like,
Totally
bruh,
opposite
really?
story. And so, like, you probably could barely tell, but you probably only noticed once I did this and put
Yeah,
my
yeah,
hand up.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you barely noticed.
That's
So,
what it was. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God,
So,
bro.
it's
Snap.
all about always getting better and using those past experiences to build you up and make you a better person.
True. True. Very, very true. I'm sitting here soaking in my discovery right now and trying to flip it multiple ways in my head.
Nope,
So,
man, we don't do it. We just gonna go to the inspired thought. What you gonna leave the people with for today?
hey
'Cause
man, for this one, to be honest, everything happened for a reason. I don't even really need a different one. I don't want to change it. I don't want to add a bonus piece to it. Everything happened for a reason. That's the statement. Period. We just broke it down on so many levels
we
to where
did.
it's like you can't help but to think everything happened for a reason. I'm not about to change that one.
We most definitely did, and yeah, I'm really say the same thing. Well, I guess articulated a little different.
Okay.
Yeah, every always, and no matter what the situation is, always keep in the mind that it's gonna work out for my greater good, and that's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. Because
Yes, sir.
that's the mindset you have to always keep, whether it's a positive situation or a negative situation. It's harder to figure out. Yes, we understand in the negative situations, but you got to remain resilient and figure that shit out because if we can, you can too. You ain't no different. You just got to figure out
Right.
how you do you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Y'all know we got the where everywhere that we at on the bottom, Instagram, YouTube. We
Oh
on
Lord.
three three
So
other
I should have probably
streaming
memorized
platforms.
those, huh?
You said what now?
I should have probably tried to memorize the new platforms that we on, but I didn't even think about it.
Oh no, it's in it's in front of me, my guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool, bet. Cool.
And let me tell y'all, just in case we got people watching that's looking for us on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, that's the only two that's we not on
Yeah,
right now at this point. We may even be on there by the time y'all get to this episode, so this information may be, you may need it,
invalid.
you may not. But we are on Spotify, we on
Yep.
Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Republic and Anchor.
Yes, sir.
We on those six, including YouTube. So go subscribe where
Yeah.
you listen or watch. We appreciate y'all tuning in to this episode, and we will see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Sound good to me.